All right, guys. So I wanted to make this video about why I got into real estate. So I'll keep this brief, but about 2 years ago, I was working as a security guard during the graveyard shift. So I would work 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. And during that time, I had a lot of, a lot of free time. There wasn't much going on. I was just sitting out in a parking lot in my car. So, after I watched, you know, countless YouTube videos, which, you know, gave me nothing. You know how YouTube works. Sometimes you just get that one random video in your, suggested videos to watch. And one of them was a Dave Ramsey video. And I watched the video, and his whole thing, if you don't know who Dave Ramsey is he gets people out of debt. He has the baby steps. I'm not gonna go into those, but if you look up Dave Ramsey, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So as I'm listening, I watch one video, I watch two videos, and next thing you know, I'm watching Dave Ramsey every night. I'm listening to the podcast, I'm watching the show on YouTube. So I went full into Dave Ramsey. And during that time, if you listen to him, he always talks about how people should pay off their homes, and start building wealth with real estate. So as I'm sitting out there, I'm like, okay, how do I get real estate? I was like, I'm a security guard, I don't make that much money. So then I started looking at ways to acquire real estate, with no money down, wholesaling. And, through that, I'm just like, I don't want to go through that. I just don't feel like it's going to work for me. Some people can do that and, it works out great. For me, I was just like, I don't know. I don't understand it. I'm not dealing with it. So I'm listening to him. And then same thing happens, as I'm watching all his videos, another suggested video comes up and it's Grant Cardone. Now, if you know anything about Grant Cardone, he is probably about as, the most polar opposite as you can get from Dave Ramsey. Grant Cardone, he says if you have debt, he's like, whatever, just leave it there, worry about generating more income, and then, pay those debts off later. So as I'm watching that, I'm getting, the conflicting, points of view. But at the same time, Grant Cardone, he used to be a car salesman. He's very heavy into sales training. And his whole thing is, well, not his whole thing, but he says to get a sales job, because with a sales job, you work off commission, and you have the ability to have unlimited income potential. So as I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, what am I gonna sell? I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna sell. I had a job before. I was selling shoes at a mall. The store Journeys, I'm sure you've seen it if you've been to probably any mall in America. They're in most. So I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna sell. So, a couple weeks, months go by, and I was like, why don't I just sell real estate? The light bulb went off. I was like, why don't I sell real estate? That way I can have a sales job, have the potential to make unlimited income, and at the same time, I can learn about real estate, so that way I can also build wealth through real estate. So I was like, hello, there we go, I got it. So after a while, I started looking up what I had to do to become a real estate agent. So I found out, in California, you have to do, an accredited course. Looked up the courses. It's like, okay, why don't I just, sign up? So eventually I signed up for the courses. And I did one class, waited a little bit, I was comfortable in my life. Didn't really have, any, drastic change that I needed to make. So, I'm just going through the daily motion, wake up, gym, go to work, just keep that cycle going. And then then I was like, okay, this isn't gonna work for me. I felt like I maxed out the position of security guard. I had no plans of going into law enforcement. So that's usually, the next step for people in security. And, being a former military, law enforcement wasn't, in my deck of cards. So, I had the one real estate class done, and I was like, okay, let's get serious about this. So I finished up my last 2 classes. I studied for my test. I passed my test. That brings us to around the December timeframe of 2018. So about almost a year ago at this point. And I left being a security guard. That January, I signed on with my first brokerage, and that was an experience in itself. I'll get into that later. I'll make another video on how I ended up over here at Realty One Group Empire on the DeVille Core Agents team, #1 team in the High Desert. So, so I signed up with my first brokerage, ended up there, and then I ended up leaving, which brings us to where I'm at now, which is, like I said, with Realty One Group Empire on the DeVille Core Agents team. And I couldn't be happier. Ever since I made the switch over here, everything has been going great. My business has, just snowballed so far. So let's keep it going. And, that's basically how I got into real estate. I was a security guard, working the graveyard shift. Had a lot of time on my hands, went onto YouTube, found Dave Ramsey, found Grant Cardone, took the best of both of what they had to say, combined them together, and now I'm here. So if you guys want to see more of these videos, let me know. I plan on putting one out, at least once a week, whether it's on, what's just going on with my life, a little, backstory on me, or, what I've done so far up to my life to this point, real estate, just to keep you guys up to date on what's going on with Adam. So, let me know in the comments, like the video if you like it, subscribe to my channel as well, and let's take this ride together. Let's see where we end up. All right, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.